Hi, Jim Gross here, Dynabrade's corporate trainer. Today I want to do a comparison between a eraser wheel with arbor mounted on a cordless tool versus the Dynabrade Nitro Series NitroZip, which is our surface preparation tool. Before we get started, a little note about safety. Whenever I'm running a tool, whether it's a battery powered tool or an air tool, I always like to wear gloves and also safety glasses. So let's begin. If you walk into a shop and they're doing any type of pinstripe removal, any type of decal removal, two-sided tape, you're going to see this type of configuration. Essentially, this is just a cordless drill with a eraser wheel attached to it with some type of spindle. To remove that, you could take the arbor out of the chuck and you can remove the eraser wheel from that arbor. This is a pretty standard setup. A couple of things that I noticed right off the bat is the fact that this arbor really doesn't have that long of a shaft on it. It's probably about an inch, maybe to an inch of an eighth. Doesn't, in my opinion, really give enough meat into the chuck to hold this into place. But this is what we have. So what you do is you screw the arbor onto the eraser wheel, kind of hand tighten it, and then go ahead and making sure that the tool's running in the forward position. You can set it into the chuck of the battery powered drill and tighten it down. Now at this point, one step that's real important is you want to hold the tool while it's in the forward position. While holding it, just give it a few touches of the trigger. What that does is that locks the eraser tool in place, or the eraser head, eraser wheel in place. Okay. And then for the operating part of it, you can go ahead and you want to make sure that as the wheel here itself is spinning, you want to make sure that all the debris is going to the base of the tool. Let's take a look. We'll remove some pinstriping with this, and we'll see how it does. Okay, on our piece here, now I have my tool with its configuration, the eraser wheel mounted properly, and I'm just going to do this little line right here. And so I'll depress the trigger, and the important thing is to remember is that anytime you're operating an eraser wheel, you want to make sure that the eraser wheel is in contact with the surface. And as you're removing the pinstriping, you want to move in a left to right motion. Okay, so let's do that. Looking at it, that did a pretty good job removing the actual pinstriping. Left a little bit of debris. That's something that's going to have to be taken care of, something that's going to have to be addressed as you're in the process of removing the pinstripe. Overall, did a pretty good job. Some of the things that I didn't like about it was the fact that I had to go ahead and I had to hold the wheel relatively off the painted surface. I wanted to make sure that the actual battery powered drill or the drill itself didn't scratch the surface, so I could only utilize the outside edge of the eraser wheel. So I could see over time how this would start to cone out and things of that nature. Also, it's all nice and uniform, pretty easy to control. However, you could have to, if you're doing it in a left-handed application, now you have still the material going underneath, but you still have the problems of trying to prevent the scratching. And if this pinstriping wasn't exactly flat, like on the side, you would have a little bit of a concern trying to control everything, going in the up and down motion, create some restrictions. Okay? We'll set this tool aside. Now let's take a look at the Dynabrade Nitro Series NitroZip. All right. The major difference right off the bat is the mounting of the eraser wheel. Okay, I have the red wheel on there, the 92255 wheel. This is more for decal removal, heavier decals, pinstriping, pressure sensitive, things of that nature. We also offer a 92240, which is our beige wheel. You could use this for using any type of metallic-based decal that you might find on an auto body. So we'll set this aside, going off the red. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this off, and in order to remove the wheel, what you want to do is using the supplied Allen wrench, you just hold it and then turn it counterclockwise. Okay, and then that's going to loosen the Allen screw, and you can see on here there's like a little star washer to lock everything into place. Now you just at this point just pop the outside of the hub off, and then you can remove the wheel on here. So this is the inside. This is the inside of the hub. This is the actual eraser wheel itself. To reposition the hub, it's got a hex design on there and a hex spindle. You just rotate that so that it sets down on there. Then there's 3 flanges, 1, 2, 3 flat flanges, and those flat flanges that are on there will accept the slots that you'll find on the eraser wheel. So you just line those up, slide them in, and kind of push them down so that they're flush with each other. Okay, holding this, now you take the outside of the hub, and if you look on the inside, you'll see little flat indents at this, every 3rd location, here, here, and here. Those are flat. Those lay on top of the inner hub, and that lays flat. So with everything nice and flat, you should have a nice flush surface, be able to run your hand across there and not feel any stepping. Now take your Allen screw with your washer, tighten it down with your Allen wrench, and take it and just hold it in place, and just with normal hand tighten, just tighten that nut into place. Okay. Everything's all set. Couple of things I wanted to point out about the NitroZip at this point. One thing is that this is a belt-driven tool that is designed to spin at 3,500 RPM. So that's going to give you good torque while you're removing any type of pinstriping, decal, double-sided tape. Also, it has a direction on it, a directional arrow. This lets you know in what direction the wheel is turning. Also, that gives you an indication of where the debris is going. Another thing to point out is the serrated cuts on here at an angle. That's there for a reason. That is to help to remove material, remove debris, and bring it away from the operator. To prevent any of the substrate from coming back and hitting the operator, we've included a flap. You can kind of see the little flap on here. And what that does is that just takes all the debris that's coming off of the tool and kind of directs it downward so that you don't have a huge mess of debris while you're using the tool. Also, to go back to the serrated side of these things, with the serrated side of the wheel versus a flat wheel, this is also going to allow the debris to clear, and it's going to increase unit pressure. When you divide surface in half, you increase its unit pressure by 2. All right, let's plug this in. I'll grab my air line here. Plugged in. Now, when you're using the NitroZip, it's the same thing as your spindle mounted. The difference is that with the spindle mounted, you can hold the tool like this and support the tool like this to keep it off of the surface that you're actually removing the material from. With the NitroZip, you have 2 points of contact, the actual handle that controls the air and the handle to support it. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you're going to have superior control over this tool because you can 2 points of contact. So if you're going up the side of removing a decal on the side, underneath, you still have total control. All right. Same principle applies when you start the NitroZip. You want to start the tool on the pinstriping and move from a left to right motion. and that removed it. Now, one thing I wanted to point out about the debris removal, all of the debris is moving behind us instead of going off to the side. Let's try the decal that we have here. Same principle applies. Start from right to left and just work your way down the decal. And you can continue that down until the decal is completely removed. Now, again, this is pinstriping. We can do decals. We can also do two-sided tape. And our beige wheel for metallic based. So that was our difference between the Dynabrade Nitro Series NitroZip. So a surface preparation tool, or the NZ1 versus a eraser wheel with arbor. If you have any questions or you want to reach me directly, again, my name is Jim Gross. I am the corporate trainer for Dynabrade Incorporated, and I could be reached at jim.gross@dynabrade.com. I hope you found this little video informational, and hope to see you soon.